Good morning once again and welcome to the session. I'm Ram Mohan. I have total 16 plus years of experience into Microsoft technologies. I started my career with Microsoft .NET 1.1. Okay, later I worked on Microsoft SharePoint and then I moved to the ERP technologies. I worked on AX 2012, R1, R2 and R3, and then since last 4 years I'm working on D365 finance and operations. Okay, that's my introduction, and then moving to the demo section. Okay, I think you people are heard about the word called ERP or D365 finance and operations is a ERP package. Okay, so anyone can tell what is meant by an ERP?
Enterprise resource.
Okay, enterprise resource planning. Good. Okay, yeah, ERP, an acronym, enterprise resource planning. What is meant by an enterprise resource planning? See, for example, if you take an organization, we have day-to-day activities. Okay, for example, if you take a manufacturing company or a services company, anything. Okay, we have a lot of day-to-day activities. See, for example, if you take manufacturing company, they have to procure raw materials and they have to manufacture the product and they have to market their product. And in between, while doing these all operations, we have a lot of business processes. Okay, business processes in the sense, for example, once you procure the material, you are doing manufacturing. Okay, in that we have a lot of business process involves. Business process like for procuring the raw material, you need to create the purchase order. So for that, you need to identify a lot of vendors. Okay. See, normal scenarios, even in a simple thing, for example, if you want to buy a product, in normal scenarios, if you want to buy a AC or a freeze or washing machine for your home, what we will do? We will find out first we will research on the product, which company is the better one, and then we'll look for the price, and then we'll look for the service and all those things. Like that, if you want to buy some of the raw material or something, company also has to do some research. It has to get the quotations from the multiple vendors. Vendors in the sense, if I am buying something, a vendor will be the some other organization or person. They are giving the raw materials to the company, other company. Okay, so these type of processes in between, we have to involve with them a lot of persons, human resources. Okay, that involves employees and expenses. For example, marketing people are there. They will roam around to the different companies and they will market the product. They will explain the product, and for that all they have to different expenses incurred. So we need to maintain the expenses. So here ERP system, it involves the complete business process of the throughout the organization. It can be a manufacturing or it can be a service company, it can be a sales or anything. So a lot of modules involves here. Okay, that is the enterprise resource planning. Okay, we have different modules. As I mentioned, we have HR, general ledger, finance, accounts receivable, accounts payable. These all are on, okay, different modules available. Okay, once, for example, if you have any examples, can you give some examples for the ERP packages involved in the market, available in the market? First one is our D365 finance and operations.
Salesforce.
Salesforce, good.
Oracle.
SAP.
Yeah, SAP is the one. They There is the full market, most of the market in the throughout the thing. Okay, SAP they have occupied, but in recent last 5 years, D365 finance and operations is evaluating more. Okay, sales we have Salesforce, PeopleSoft, and all. Okay, here actually the complete market scenarios based on the market and all those things. We have different type of things like large scale industries, mid-size, and small ones. Okay, large scale D365 finance and operations and SAP, all this. Okay, mid-sized we can tell Oracle apps, Salesforce, and small size we have Navision, all these things. Okay, so coming to the D365 finance and operations, I'm going to cover about the technical side. Okay, here we have D365 finance and operations. We have two job roles. One is functional consultant. Second one is technical consultant. What is the role of functional consultant is they will analyze first this ERP systems are the pre-built packages. Okay, everything is inbuilt, and if you want to customize something specific to the customer, we are going to work on that. What is the functional consultant role here? Functional consultant, what they will do is first, once they got the requirements from the client, they will map those requirements with the existing system. Okay, if the whatever the requirements they are going to fulfill with the existing system, that's fine. If you want to specifically do some customizations related to that particular client or customer, they will analyze those requirements and they will map to the existing system, and they will come up with the customizations where exactly we need to do some customizations related to, for example, if it is UI related form level, we need to do the customization. If it is a business process, we need to do some table level and class level modifications. And if it is a reporting kind of thing, we need to modify at the report level. They need to first they need to analyze the business requirements, whatever provided by the client, by doing the fit gap analysis. Here, this is the existing system. For example, if you take some website or enterprise application development, we will do it completely. The development we will do it from the scratch, and that we will do it for the specific client. For example, if you have some website, Microsoft.com or some other Samsung.com and all, those are the enterprise applications. We are separately building those applications, okay, for the specific customer and all. Here, coming to the ERP systems, it is a predefined package. Is it sound low? Are you guys able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Functional consultant, as it is a ERP package, it is a pre-built, and on top of the pre-built application, we are doing the customizations. So we need to do the fit and gap analysis, and based on the gaps, those gaps we need to fill based on the customer requirements. Those the functional consultant will come. We'll call it as BS, business analyst. And second part is technical consultants. What we will do is based on the requirements, we will do the customizations to the existing system. So for customizations, we will use the different tools. I will come up with those. I will explain what are the tools we are going to use and all. These are the customization side. We will use the Express language for coding, and we will use the Visual Studio for tool for development purposes and all. We will do the actual customizations. Okay, how to do customizations and all will come. Okay, here D365 before this we have different versions. Okay, first Microsoft 2009 is there, and then AX 2012. In 2012 we have different versions, release 1, release 2, and release 3. And then D365 finance and operations. Before this D365 finance and operations, they called it as AX 7.0. Later they regrouped the all D365 into one umbrella, and I will tell you what are the different things available under D365 umbrella. Okay, we have these 3 versions. Okay, initially actually there is a company and Microsoft acquired in that company, and they have named it as X 2009, sorry, 2009. These are AX 2009 and AX 2012. These two are Windows applications. Can somebody answer what is meant by Windows application?
On-premise ERP solution.
Yeah, Windows application in the sense it's on-premises installation. Okay, you need to have the server, and on top of that we'll install the SQL server, and then we'll install the AX 2009 or AX 2012, like that. Okay, that everything will be maintained by maintained in our server. We need to install it separate, whatever the these things softwares we have available on top of OS operating systems. We will install these things, and we need to have the server. If you go into the Windows application, there will be actually client concept, client and server concept. Okay, we will apply the, we will install all these applications on the server, and if the user want to access that server and use it, we need to separately install the client on the each and every desktop whoever the user is using it. Okay, each and every desktop we need to install the client application. By using that client application, we will access the server and we will work on the applications. Okay, and for development purpose also, development purpose in AX 2009, we will use a tool called Morpex. Okay, here also same. In 2012 also we used the tool called Morpex, and X++ is the language. Here also X++. Okay. Later actually cloud came into the picture. Cloud applications, cloud architecture we can tell. What is meant by cloud? Okay. See, previously what we used to do, we used to prepare our food our by own in the homes. Nowadays, what came into the picture? If you don't want to prepare, you can order. There are Zomato, Swiggy, and lot of things came into the picture, and somebody will prepare and they will sell it, and we will buy it, and we will get the food and eat. Okay, like that. Cloud architecture came into the picture. See, previously we used to buy our own servers, and we will use it to buy the softwares, and we need to install that software on the servers, and we use it to it. Companies use it to use it. Now cloud architecture came into the picture. What they will do is they will completely procure the servers and everything. Okay, they will prepare the virtualization, networking, and everything, and we will use that servers, okay, by using the internet. Okay, cloud. So whatever the servers they will give, they will give in different formats: software as a service, infrastructure as a service, and platform as a service. Okay, software as a service, this is a simple kind of web applications. Okay, we will use the direct software. Okay, we will access the software. Okay, some of the web applications, and we will be hosted on the server, and we will use that application by accessing from the server. Those are web applications. Infrastructure as a service. Okay, what here is, for example, if we take Amazon services, AWS. Okay, they will provide the complete infrastructures, virtualization and everything. We can use those servers, and on top of that we can install our own applications, whatever the required. If we come into the platform as a service, they will provide the particular server or something. For example, I need a Windows Server 2016. They will provide the complete infrastructure platform for installing that applications. Okay, OS and everything they will provide along with the ROM and everything. So we need to access that, and if you want to install on top of that D365 finance and operations or any AX2012 2009, on top of that you can install that. Here it is, Microsoft Azure is the one of the example. Okay, we actually they will have predefined servers and all. We can simply provision those servers based on our requirement. There they will define different methodologies they will give. This is the ROM size, this is the hard disk size and everything. And if you want to have the predefined operating system and predefined applications installed, and simply you'll provision that things and you will use it. Okay, these are the different cloud architectures. Our D365 finance and operations will come under platform as a service. Okay, now this is the AX 7.1 onwards, they have placed it in the cloud. Previously it is a Windows application. If you want to expose your forms or something UI to the web, we need to have a separate UI development and all. We need to create the web pages, and we have the separate application hosted on the server wherever we install this application, and we used to access that. So if you want to go for the show some of the information on the web, definitely you need to separately design the web forms, and you need to expose that web forms through the some of the web service web portal, like by creating the default site. Okay, that is a separate topic. Okay, till AX2010 all, if you want to expose some of the information from the ERP system, AX2012 and all, you need to have the design the separate web forms. Coming from AX 7.1 onwards, the Microsoft has changed the complete architecture, and they have hosted the complete application on the cloud, and it is a web application. Okay, now there is no separate server installation is required. The server will be available, you can access the server. But if you want to access the application, there is no need of server and all. You can simply clicking on the URL, you can directly access it. That I will show you how the URL look like and what are the things available. Okay, that is the cloud thing. So they moved into completely from AX 7.1 onwards, completely moved to the cloud systems. Okay, here for development purpose, actually Microsoft is providing different kind of environments for development. If you want to develop, access the URL, you can directly access from your desktop. There is no need of server or anything. For example, if you want to do the development, okay, whatever the customizations I have specified on the top. For example, some of the client come up with some requirements, and we need to develop those requirements. We need to have the development environment. Okay, and then we need to move it to the test environment, and then move it to the user acceptance test environment, and then move it to the production. Okay, for maintaining all these environments will be hosted on the cloud. Okay, for our as a developer, for developing this code and customizations, whatever we want to do, so we need to have a one system. That development server will be on the different ways. Okay, one we call it as on premises. Okay, Microsoft is providing on premises environment for development purpose only. Okay, for production and all, we need to host it on the cloud only. For this on premises environment, okay, we don't need to install everything from the scratch. For example, if you have the server or something, you need to install the Windows server or Windows server. On top of that, you need to install the SQL server. On top of that, you need to install the D365 finance and operations packages. You don't need to install all those things by you. What Microsoft is giving is they will provide the virtual machine. Okay, we can download it from a portal called LCS. LCS means Lifecycle Services. This is a portal provided by Microsoft. From here, once you log into the LCS, for logging into the LCS, you should have the on Microsoft account or your organization account. Okay, on Microsoft account or organization account. Organization accounts will have the separate organization is created on the Azure Active Directory and all. Okay, here we will create on Microsoft account. On Microsoft account, that is a trial version. It will be available for 30 days, and later you can create one more account and you can use it. Okay, we will log into this LCS. LCS is a portal provided by Microsoft. Okay, all environments will be maintained here. How it will look and all, I will explain in the actual sessions. This is the LCS. From here, what we will do is we will download this virtual machine. Okay, we will configure it into the local system. For this configuring this one, we need to have minimum 16 GB RAM. Okay, otherwise it will have a lot of performance issues. Okay, you need to have 16 GB RAM and at least minimum 100 GB of hard disk size. Okay. Okay, if you have the processor like i5 or something, that will be good. i5 or more. Okay, this is the minimum requirement for on-premises environment to run it in your local system. Okay, how to create this on Microsoft account and how to connect to this LCS and how to download the virtual machines and all, we will be explained in the actual sessions. Okay, and then cloud environments. For using these cloud environments, we need to have a Microsoft Azure subscription. Okay, this is the cost involved here. We need to pay on the pay as and you use like concept. Okay, in Azure, Microsoft Azure by using the Microsoft Azure subscription, here also will connect to the LCS only Lifecycle Services portal, and by creating the project and methodologies, we can provision the environment. Provision means we will create the environment. It is installed by default with OS, SQL Server, and everything. By using this Microsoft Azure subscription only, we will create the development environment, test environments, and UAT and production. Everything will be provisioned by using this LCS portal. Okay, in cloud environment, Microsoft Azure subscription, Microsoft has two things. One is Microsoft managed subscription. Microsoft itself will manage the subscription and they will create the environments and all. Okay, here we will have only user rights. We will not have any admin rights on the system. Only we will have the user rights. There is one more called customer managed. That means whoever is bought that subscription, those admin team will maintain this customer managed environments. Okay, this will have the admin rights. You can install anything on top of the things, whatever you want and all. Here you will not have any user rights. You will not be able to install anything if there is any third-party tools or something. Okay, this is how the environments will be maintained. We are going to work on this on-premises environment for our practice purpose. How to download and all, it will be explained in the actual sessions. Any questions so far? Okay, good.
Hi, my name is Sainath. I have a question. So there are two questions basically. So one is the X++ language same for all the applications? So when you call it an ERP, I mean, in the umbrella of D365, We also
Mhm.
have CRM. So is the programming language same for all? Is
Yeah,
my
that I will come in the umbrella of D365. Okay, we have finance,
yeah.
we have commerce, okay, and we have retail. Okay, for all these things, X++ is common.
Okay, and
Okay.
even that includes
There is
CRM
one
as
more
well?
thing called CRM. CRM is
Okay.
different. Actually, CRM they will use the C# coding.
Okay.
C# and
Okay.
you need to have the JavaScript knowledge and HTML and all for designing the pages and all. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
For client validations and all, they will use the scripting. Here coming to the D365 finance and operations, you don't need to write a single piece of code for designing the UI,
Yeah. Yeah.
even for validations as well. There is no need of writing any code for the UI development. UI is the forms, web forms we are going to develop. Okay, that forms you don't need to write anything. There is a concept called form patterns. By using those form patterns, we will design the forms.
Yeah.
Validations and everything will be using X++ code only. We don't need to write any HTML or any JavaScript. Anything.
Okay. Yeah. And the second question is like, is this course, I mean, designed only for on-prem, or is it also includes cloud?
See, while development only, you'll have the minimal differences between the on-premises and cloud environment. See,
Okay.
these on-premises and cloud environments, the difference is while doing the development, we will do it in the on-premises environment. Whatever we
Okay.
use the X++ code, whatever the objects creation, everything will be same in cloud environment or on-premises environment. Cloud
Okay.
environments, so you can access directly by using the IP address or something. You can directly access that VM, and once you access that VM, Visual Studio and everything will be same.
Okay. 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 I got it. Yeah. All
Yeah.
right. So both are actually for D365 cloud versions only. Just that
Yes, yes. Both are
development
for
where you code
both are for
yeah.
yeah. Both are cloud versions only. Even here also, without this on Microsoft account, you cannot access this environment and all. You can
Okay.
log
I
into the
got it.
environment. For login to the URL and everything, you need to have the on Microsoft account. Microsoft has came up with the picture. Previously, we used to have the normal Active Directory. If you have the server, people
Yeah.
used to create the Active Directory in the server, and for each and every company, they will give the this one, right, enterprise
Email
IDs.
ID. Yeah.
Email based on that enterprise ID, they will create the email IDs. Okay, those things now Microsoft has completely changed it to cloud actually. Now
Okay.
Azure Active Directory need to be created. So for that purpose, we are creating the on Microsoft account here.
Okay.
Okay. Even if the organization already have the standalone Active Directory, they need to migrate it to the Azure Active Directory mandatorily.
Okay.
Without that, they cannot access these environments.
Yeah, I got it. And just one follow-up question, if you don't mind. And I'm not actually from the background of technical, and it's going to be completely from scratch for me. Do you feel any prerequisites are necessary for me to take up this course?
Prerequisite: if you have the programming knowledge, that is enough.
Yeah, that's even I have very minimal knowledge in the technical stuff.
Yeah, if you have any programming knowledge,
Yeah.
that is enough.
Okay, good. Thanks.
But if you have some some background like what are the business process, that will be actually while developing you will get those knowledge. What is sales order processes and all those are business process. Actual functional people will take care, but we should have the minimal knowledge so to do the unit testing and all, right?
Yeah. So I'm good at functional and BA kind of thing, but on the technical is what I'm starting my career. So I thought, I mean,
Okay.
is it next?
Yeah,
And
if
these
you
are
have the if you have the minimal programming knowledge, it is enough to go through this.
Thank you so much, Ram. Yeah. Continue, please.
Okay. And coming to the architecture, let me explain you the cloud architecture, how it D365 finance and operations architecture will look like. This
Hi
is
Ram, this
the,
is Gio. Sorry to interrupt you.
yeah.
So I have
Go
one
ahead.
small question. So actually, will you be provide that on-premises version for our development? So
Yes,
what
yes.
is the procedure? So what?
I'm not going. Yeah, I'm not going to give you the VM or something. How to download and how to set up and all. I will give you the details so that you
Okay,
can
you will be
download from the you can download it from the LCS Lifecycle Services site. Okay, and then you can set up that VM. How to set up and all. I will give you those
so
details.
okay. So the setup and everything it will be free of cost, right? So no needed to
Yes, yes,
worry, right?
yes, yes. We will use the trial versions.
Trial
Trial
version.
version
How
in the
long it will
sense
be?
account. For on Microsoft account, it will be 30 days. Again, after 30 days, you can create the new account. Okay.
Okay, like that we can extend our.
Actual on-premises environment will be once you set up the VM, it will have the 180 days. And then you, if you want more, you can after 180 days, you can extend more to another 180 days.
On the same
Almost
server or
one
on?
year. Same server.
Okay,
Same server.
okay. It is a free of cost only, right?
Yeah, it's a free of cost.
Okay. So you will be given the guidance about how to create that server, so everything.
Yeah, the sessions I will completely explain how to download and how to set up the
Okay. So
environment and all.
okay, okay. So SSD would be okay, right? So for that operating system, Windows and SSD and IP processor would be okay, right?
Yes,
So
yes, yeah, but you need to have the minimum 16 GB RAM.
16 GB. Yeah, yeah, I understand.
Yeah,
Thanks.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Coming to the D365 finance and operations architecture, if you see here, we are using the Windows Server Active Directory. Okay, other directories. It will be login coming to the Microsoft Azure Active Directory concept. So we will see the how to create the Active Directory and all. We will see while creating the on Microsoft account. Okay, this Microsoft Azure Active Directory is tightly integrated with the finance and operations application. This Azure Active Directory will be maintained by using the Microsoft Office 365 Admin Center. That is also a portal. Okay, and this will be tightly integrated with the lifecycle services. What I mentioned, these environments and everything will be maintained in the LCS. Okay, and then Visual Studio Team Services. For example, we have a team of 10 people. So each and every, for development purpose, for each and every developer, we should have one on-premises environment. They cannot directly log into the single environment, all the 10 people. Okay. Then each developer has one VM. Okay, on-premises VM, or it can be a cloud VM, anything. Okay. So for example, one developer has created one class. Second developer has to use that class. So copying the code from one environment to another environment, it is a difficult thing every day. Okay, for that purpose, what we will do is Visuals Source App, Team Services, VSTS we call it as. Okay, that will be integrated with the this one, our finance and operations application through LCS will integrate. Okay, whatever the code we are developing, everything will be checked in and check out process. I think somebody is already in development methodology, writing in some .NET applications or Java or something. You people will be aware about the VSTS. We don't need to completely know about these things. If you know the check-in, check-out, everything, that I will explain how to check in and check out. This will also covered in our sessions. VSTS, how to connect to the VSTS, and how to uh, once we created we will create the branches, code branches, different branches, main, development branch and all, how to create those branches and how to check in the code, how to check out the code. And for example, if you did some modifications, how to compare with the previous versions, and everything will be covered here. Coming to the VSTS and Visual Studio, sorry, Visual Studio 2017 is the tool we are going to use it for the development purpose. As I mentioned previously, Morpex is the tool. Here we are going to use the Visual Studio 2017, and same X++ is the language, and we will connect the code with the VSTS. Okay, Visual Studio 2017 we are going to use it. These are the main tools we will use it. And coming to the for coding purpose, you will use this one. And UI, actually Microsoft has come up with the form based methodology. Here we will use the design patterns for development purpose. What are the design patterns are there, how to use it, how to apply the design pattern to the form, and after that how to use the controls and all I will explain. And then we will use, this is for the UI purpose. For classes and all X++ coding we will use. Okay, previously what we used to do is in X 2009 and 2012 we will directly modify the object. Okay, we call it as overlaying. Okay, for example, we have a class or form or something. If you want to modify it, previously we used to create a layer, and on top of that layer we used to directly modify the object. For example, if there is a if condition already in the class, if you want to write some of the condition inside that if condition, it's possible in X 2009 and 2012. Directly you can modify the standard object. Standard object is in the sense Microsoft object, whatever is provided. Okay, that you can directly modify by using the overlaying concept. Okay, in AX D365 finance and operations till 7.0 and some extent of 8.0, Microsoft has given the provision to do the overlaying. And there is one more concept called extensions. From D365 finance and operations 10.0 onwards, we will use the only concept called extension. Okay, what is meant by overlaying and extension? Overlaying is the directly we will go to that particular object and we will modify that object. The extension, we need to create a separate extension for that particular object, and we will have some restrictions to modify the specific objects. If you want to write the code, you need to have the separate extension class, and you need to modify that particular code by accessing the method of the existing object. That we will see all the what is overlaying and extensions concepts in the sections. Okay, once you get the on-premises environment, this is the URL you'll get in this type of URL you'll get for the ERP application. Let it load. And Visual Studio 2017 will look like this. You will have a separate menu for the Dynamics 365. You can see the different options here. Okay, here we will use the Visual Studio 2017, and there is a concept called Application Explorer. Whatever the objects available in the D365 finance and operations, it will show all the objects in the Application Explorer. This is the Application Explorer. We call it as AO tree. Okay, Application Object Tree. Okay, these are all the objects. Based on the type of the object, it will bifurcate it. Okay, these are all the data types, base enums and EDTs and everything will be. Under data model, you will have the tables, views, queries, data entities, and all those things. Okay, under code, you will have the classes and macros. Okay, you will see all those things, how to create all these things, reports. Okay, so I'm logging with the on Microsoft account. See, this is my on-premises environment. Okay, So this is how application will look like. You will have some demo data. Okay. ERP systems will create the different companies and all. These all are the companies available in the system. Okay, this is one of the company, and if you go to that, you'll have this is the Microsoft provided environment. Okay, on-premises environment. You have the different companies, and you'll have the data as well. Okay, and you'll have the different modules. These are all the modules available. Okay, we will work with these modules, and we can create a new module. How to create, and if you want to modify the existing form and everything, how to modify. If you want to modify the existing business process, workflows, everything will be covered here. Okay, this is how my actual application will look like. This is the URL. Okay, and coming to the reports concepts, we have SSRS reporting. It is inbuilt in D365 Finance and Operations. How to design the report, SSRS report, and how to show it on the application and all I will cover. And there is one more thing called Power BI. Okay, here I will show Power BI. So how to design a simple report and how to integrate the integration of the Power BI with the D365 Finance and Operations. Okay, we need a separate process to integrate. This is SSS reporting is inbuilt in the D365 Finance and Operations. Okay, Power BI we need to separately integrate. How to integrate and all I will explain in the sessions. Okay, but actual Power BI reporting, designing, and everything, that is a separate concept. So it will not cover complete Power BI designing. How to design a simple report and how to show that report in the D365 Finance and Operations I will cover. Okay, SSRS reporting, how to what are the different types of reports we have and how to design those reports I will cover. But Power BI is a different separate concept, so I will not going to cover the complete concept of Power BI. Designing a simple report and how to integrate with the D365 Finance and Operations, it will be covered. Okay, and one more thing is, for example, I have done the development. Okay, once the development is done, what are the phases available in the project life cycle? Will you have the analysis phase, design phase, and then development phase. That is called, we call it as build phase, and then test phase, and then UAT, and then production. Okay, in those phases, here we are doing the development. Once the development is done, we need to move the code to the test environment and then move to the UAT environment. How to generate a package and move to the different environments, I will cover. Okay, but deploying to the production and all, we will not even in live scenarios also, we will not have even it is a customer centric subscription also, we will not have the access to the production environment to apply the packages and all. If you want to do anything through LCS, we will create the request to the Microsoft. Okay, we will provide the downtime and everything while creating the request, and we will specify the package, which package we need to apply it to the production and all. Microsoft will take care all those things. We are not going to do anything on the production side. In the normal enterprise scenarios, we'll have the production server access also. There we will deploy the packages and all. But in D365 Finance and Operations side, we will not have access to the production thing. So Microsoft will take care everything on the production side. Till UAT you can access and you can deploy the packages.
Hello, Ram. I have one question.
Yep.
Okay, you are telling everything on production. Microsoft team will handle. Okay,
Yes.
so if I want to restore the database, so is it possible?
Good
or
question.
taking a backup?
Yes, yes, it's possible, but you're not going to directly connect to the Microsoft database or something. Through LCS, we will create a request. Okay, There you will specify the what is the destination environment you need to restore the database.
Okay.
Okay.
So they are charging
Source
for.
environment no, then those will come under subscription only. Whatever the subscription you are buying, right? Under that subscription, you will have the LCS access and everything. Okay, through LCS, you will raise the request. That they will not charge
Okay.
anything yearly basis. They will charge, right, for all the subscription and everything. In that subscription itself, it will cover.
So they will do same time or they will take time to finish?
Yeah, that's again actually they ask you to create the request before 8 hours, and they will ask for the actual time to do that 4 hours, but it will be done quickly only. But as a process, they will ask for the raise the request before 8 hours.
Okay.
Okay, and for example, if you take you have the development and test and all these environments, right? We concept called tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. Tier 1 we call it as, and U8 and test environments we call it as tier 2, and U8 and all we call it as tier 3 environments. Okay, this tier 1 and tier 2 environment till test environments, we will have the local SQL server installed. Okay, in cloud environments also SQL server version is installed, and you can use the SQL server management studio, and you can see the everything database and everything. If you come into the tier 3 environments, this is Azure database. Okay, it will not be installed on your environment itself. It is Azure database. It is separate server will be there. That Azure database we will connect to the environment. That is the architecture. Okay, even production also it's Azure database only. Okay, only development and test environments will have the on-premises SQL server installed. Okay. Okay, there is a concept how to export and import the databases. If it is a Azure database, that is separate thing. Okay, we will have the documentation. I will share you. You can understand by going to those documentations. Once that is exported, normally we used to do the dot backup file, right? Here from Azure we call it as backpack. It's a kind of zip file, but backup file will have the large size. Okay, this will have the smaller size compared to this backup file. So for moving it to the one environment to another environment, we are going to use the backpack file. If you take the backup of the database, it will be in the GBs. If you want to move from one environment to another environment, it will be difficult. But backpack will have the lesser size. That is a kind of zip file. Internally, Microsoft will maintain the manifest and everything in this backpack file, data in the separate XML files. While importing, they will take care of all those things. While importing to the new database, the other environment. Okay. When coming to this Visual Studio, you'll have the separate menu item, and we can debug the code and everything. Okay, if you come into the classes, you'll have the multiple classes. And I'm going to cover the, apart from reports, I'm going to cover the security concepts. You'll have the users, right? Based on the role, duty, and privilege, we will show the specific menu items to the user based on their access. Those security concepts will be covered, and then batch jobs will be covered, and there is a concept called we can do the recording, okay, directly in the application. Okay, that will be covered. Okay, let me open the course content. This is on. I'll give the introduction and architecture and comparison of the different versions, cloud model, and introduction to Azure, and a 3-tier and our entire architecture, licensing model, and what is the application explorer and model management packages, LCS, code migration, D365 setup and server architecture. These all things will be covered under course. Services and word data services and everything. Okay. Any other questions from anyone? This will
Yes,
take
Ram.
45 classes to 60 classes, maximum 50 classes, not more than that. Okay. I'm going to take weekly 5 days. Okay. If something is missed in between because of some issues or something, it will be covered in the Saturdays. There is no class on the Sunday.
And timing?
Timing, I will check with the institute, and currently there is one batch is running 8 to 9.
Okay.
Mostly it will be at that time, on that time only. Yeah, based on the majority of the people requirement, we will decide. That will be separately communicated to the people.
Ram, it will cover workflow design.
Yes. Workflows.
So, okay. In workflow, what is the Microsoft Flow? So how it will integrate with Flow?
Yeah, here it is completely built-in workflow concept. Okay. Through X++, we can create the different classes and workflow designer and all. We'll have the workflow designer also integrated one. Okay, there is no need to separately install the workflow designer and all. Okay, we have the integrated one. You can design the workflows. But most of the time, you'll have the inbuilt-in work. A lot of workflows are already designed. For example, if you have developed a new table and for that specific table you want to go for the workflow, at that time you need to create the new workflow. Okay, in most of the cases, like expenses concepts, and for example, if you create a purchase order or if you are changing some customer name or vendor name, by simply configuring it, that will be available in the system.
Okay.
Existing one, for example, if you want to go for the more approval process or something, you can directly configure at the application level itself without going to the development. That business analyst will take care. But if you want to completely design a new workflow, at that time we will design the workflow. We will create the workflow by using the customization.
So you will cover how Flow, Microsoft Flow integrate with the Dynamics 365 Finance and Operation Flow, Microsoft Flow.
Yeah, that's what it is integrated directly. Will not install separate tools or something.
No, you said there is already available workflow for this is different and Flow is different, or
Flow is different. Flow is that is separate concept actually. That is separate tool actually. This is separate one.
Okay. You will cover how to upgrade.
Any other questions from anyone? Yeah, how to upgrade I will cover.
Ram, this is Bala.
Yep.
So are we going to cover the integrations also, like OData, BYOD?
Yes. Integrations. I will separately install the Postman application. Okay, tool. And how to connect to the D365 OData services by using the data entities. Once you create a data entity in the D365 Finance and Operations, you can directly expose that entity by using the OData services. There is no separate thing required by simply giving the public collection names and all. Okay, we can directly access the entities Okay, that entity how to access and how to get the data from the D365 by using that entity using the OData services, and how to post the data. I will show it by using the Postman. And through services also, I'll show how to create a service and how to access that service by using the C# or some other client application, Windows client application and all. And if you have a third-party service, how to consume that service in the D365 finance and operations also will be covered.
Okay, thanks, Sam.
Okay. Any questions from anybody else?
But Ram, just one quick question. So when are these classes are getting commenced?
Yeah, that we will discuss, and you can contact the front office people. They will give you the dates.
Okay.
Right now, I don't have the hands-on dates.
Okay. Cool.
Once
It is just a demo
whenever,
purpose, right? And the real classes are to be again scheduled, not confirmed yet, right?
yes. Yeah, based on the people's availability, and if you can contact the front office people based on the people availability, and they will have the data, right? Based on that, they will decide the dates.
Yeah, sure. One last question, if you don't mind. So, just wanted to know how is the
Yeah,
career
you
of
can ask any number of questions. I will not mind.
Thanks. So, I mean, I wanted to, I'm very curious since this D365 is very new to the market, the cloud version. And how is it with the competition with SAP is the first thing, and how is the career opportunities for an individual who is learning
Actually, from last 5 years, it was emerging like anything. Now, career opportunities are very good actually in the market.
Okay. And just a typical idea for a beginner to learn what will be the typical duration if an individual takes to learn tech of D365?
Okay, once you are joined to the classes and if you practice every day like 2 hours, okay, whatever the concepts we are covering, by the end of the sessions, you will be in a good position. Okay. After that, if you practice 15 to 20 days and you'll go through the actual business process scenarios and all, you'll be able to face the interviews as well.
Okay.
It will be
And one last,
more 2 months actually, maximum 2 months.
yeah, the course is designed for 8 weeks. That's for 2 months. Yeah. And yeah,
Course
so
is
on the
designed for?
customization part, do you take any couple of samples and take the, initiate the sessions like when it comes to customization?
Yes.
Maybe.
Yes. I will use the standard objects and I will prefer to give the how to create a new object and all in every object level.
Okay.
That will be covered. Even some of the scenarios also I will give you some of the scenarios, live scenarios on day-to-day basis. We will also face some of the issues or something, right? I will try to give some of the scenarios and you people can practice it.
Okay. Great. I'm good.
Hello?
Yep.
Yeah, I think I'm good from my side.
Okay.
Somebody answered question.
I had a question about EDI. How is that being used?
EDA?
Correct.
Sorry, you're asking about EDT or EDI?
EDI.
EDI, entity data store you are asking?
Correct.
Yeah, entity data store actually in D365 finance and operations, they come up with the new concept, direct Azure data access. Okay, entity store you don't need to do it now. In latest versions, they have removed that concept actually. In 10.0.20 from 10.0.15 or 16, I think they have removed it. Now you can directly use the OData services and all for Power BI and any third-party applications you want to access it. And for analytics and all, they have given the aggregate measurements and aggregate data entities separately. Okay, we can create the separate aggregate data entities, and you can utilize the data entities by using the OData services. And you can directly connect with the AXDW database. It will trigger whenever you create these aggregate data entities and all, it will trigger to the AXDW database. From there, you can utilize those things and directly connecting to the database. How to create the aggregate data entity and all I will cover. And how to utilize that aggregate data entity in the Power BI, that I will cover.
So the question that I had earlier is there more than one finance and operations UI? Because I noticed it's using kind of like a tile.
Sorry,
portal.
UI?
Can you hear me?
Yes, this is the UI, finance and operations UI. What do you want to see?
And I take it as a tile type of UI?
It's a web application.
Which is like a portal, correct? In other words, is there more than one version of the finance and operation?
Yes, yes,
Or
this is the latest
D365?
version, D365 finance and operations. This is the URL. You can access the application by using the URL. This is a web application.
Is there a legacy? In other words, is there a way to modify the UI?
Yes, yes, you can modify. These are all the different forms you have. You can modify it accordingly based on the client requirements. For example, if you go to this all vendors form, it will open a form. On that form, if you want to add new columns or anything, you can add it. In between, if you have any business process change also, you can involve. For example, if you take a workflow, if you want to go for the more approval process or something, you can modify the workflow.
Okay. But is there like tile boxes for like accounting or some of these other departments?
That if you go for the functional kind of thing, accounting and all required. Here it is a technical kind of thing, so we will customize those objects.
I see. Okay. So the one that I'm thinking about is really for the end client.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. Any other questions from anybody? Okay. I think if there are no questions, I'm wrapping up the section. Yeah, this training sheet and all they will provide you based on this your email. Okay. Tile UI in the sense you can generate you can create the tiles, but we'll use the menu items and all. Tiles also, tile is another concept. You can create the tiles and we can show that in the workspaces.
Okay. But in essence, it's the same tool.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Okay, video already covered. Okay. Okay, if there are no questions, I'm closing the session. Thanks everyone. Looking forward to seeing you in the actual sessions. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir.